Hi, I'm Caleb.
Hi, I'm Darian.
And we are back
With our top 50.
Yes.
We are doing number 30 through 21. We are really excited to finally get through to this.
Yes, we're so pumped. So,
and if you haven't already seen our other videos, we highly encourage you to go to watch those first. We started with our top 50, obviously.
Yep.
They are going to be linked in the description below, both of them, so definitely give them a check out as well.
Yes, for sure. So just a few things. A lot of work went into this. We reattempted this multiple times. We have re-ranked multiple times to get to what we think is our perfect list, I think. So, yeah.
Some still surprise us, but it's more of a, we get why it's there.
Yeah, we each got shocked in the last video a lot.
So
we're like, no way, that's
definitely
there.
check that one out, please.
Yes, please do.
We are also playing a little game where we're each trying to check we are each trying to guess each other's top 10.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, so far 2 are out of each of our lists.
Yes,
so definitely check out those, see which ones have already been marked out for each
other's
other's list.
Yeah, and it's not exactly in the right spot or whatever.
It's
we're
not,
like at least
we
in the
just
10
in,
and the 10.
If at the end they're in the 10, we're going to count it as good.
Exactly.
Because that was the entire point. We're not trying to guess entirely what number they are, but if we do, that's even more bonus points.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then also we are doing, we're betting on 10 total crossovers, at least, and then probably 3 direct. I feel like we're getting so close. And yet we don't have any direct crossovers.
So far, we've had 3 crossovers.
3 crossovers, yeah. So I feel like right now, I think this list we're gonna have at least 2 or 3 more. So when we get to the number ones, it's gonna be quite a few more.
I feel like it
or the 10. Yeah. So So I think that's it, right?
That is basically it. Quick reminder again that this could change at any point.
Yeah, this is a moment in time.
Our top 50 list is how we feel in this moment.
Yeah.
Obviously, when we do this next year, it will be completely different.
It
probably.
could be.
Some might still be in the same place. Who knows?
Right.
But yeah, and we're really excited to do this. This time, I will be starting.
Yes, you will.
He started the last one.
Yes, you will. All right, let's get to it.
So my papers got crumbled up. Our kids tore it out, thinking that it was wrapping paper.
Yeah, or pretending it to be wrapping paper.
Yeah. So this is mine.
All right.
Ooh, number 30.
All right, here we go.
This one, I feel like you might have put it in my top 10.
Okay. Oh, gosh.
It is an Uwe Rosenberg game. And,
don't you say it.
And it's Patchwork.
Oh, okay. We're safe.
No,
okay,
we're safe. We're safe. I know what you're probably thinking.
I had it in there and I changed. I was like, no, it's not that. So that's good.
Patchwork. Okay. I just love Uwe Rosenberg a lot. And there's just something about this 2-player game that just is almost nostalgic in a way each time we play it.
Yeah,
and it's hard to explain.
I don't know why it is.
But it's just so
game.
Which is why we had it in our cozy list. But it is one of my favorite little polyomino, and it's 2 players, so it's perfect for us. We get to just sit down, play it together, pull it out. It's a quick game, and because we know how it works, we don't even have to do anything but pull it out, set it up, and play.
That's true. Yeah, it's so good. Like every single time.
So basically, in the game, we each get this little player board, and Uwe Rosenberg is big with their filling in spaces as much as you can with little different shaped pieces that look like when you look at the board, there's no way this is going to happen. Somehow I kill it every time.
Yes.
And I think that's why I love his game so much, is because for some reason I can just see it.
You just get it. Yeah, you see the puzzle. It's an efficiency puzzle.
It is an efficiency puzzle.
I know how to. Yeah, man. Every time.
Every time, and I love it so much. The thought process behind because there's a little player thing, and you can only choose the pieces that are in front of that, the 3 pieces in front of that piece, and it continues to go around the board. So once you pick it, you move that piece to the space of where you just taken it, which then in turn gives someone else another 3 in front of them to pick from.
Yeah.
So it's really, you gotta have a strategy for every possibility, because someone could pick up a piece that you thought you were gonna have.
Yeah.
You don't need more.
Exactly. Yeah, and if you can't take it, it's so like, oh my gosh, I can't fit that on there. So it's really it can be tough, because
it is a little tough, especially if
very
you're playing with another person who has a similar strategy as you, which you're starting to get to that point, because I think you're starting to see my strategy, you're using it a little more.
You know what's so funny, and if you don't mind me to interject.
Yeah.
So with this game and Fox in the Forest, I find myself growing better as a gamer, and it's because it's those like chess like abstract kind of ways of like determining whether
It's a
your
lot
player's
of
gonna.
thought process in such a small game
Yeah.
that it builds up your thought process
does.
for bigger games.
It does, but like it's that minor strategy that just I mean, just like you said, it just expands your mindset. So
Yeah.
no, I'm glad you have it right there. So
Yeah, but that's
cool.
my number 30, and that is Patchwork. And I'm not gonna lie, that's not gonna be my last Uwe Rosenberg game on my list.
Cool.
So
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So my number 30 is such a fun game, and the fact that it's very funny. I think that this could probably just go up much higher the more we play it, much higher, and that is Western Legends. So Western Legends is a fantastic open world sandbox game. Like if you love Red Dead
I don't know how they
Redemption,
did it in a board game.
oh
but they
man,
did it.
you can do whatever you want. You can like rob people. You can rob the bank. You can go to the casino
raise cattle, sell cattle,
or not casino, but exactly. Yeah, I mean you can go play poker. You can mine. There's just so many things to do.
One of the cool things about this game, I know you're probably going to mention it, so if I do, we can cut this out and
Okay.
mention it.
Yeah, sure.
And it's just because I need to.
Yeah,
in case you don't mention it, I don't want to throw it.
No, it's fine.
Is the diversity of what the cards can be used for.
Oh yes, let me talk. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. I was gonna leave that out.
Okay.
Or so good.
So that's why I wanted.
Yeah,
to say
no, it's
it,
fine.
'cause
That's
you
fine. Okay,
mentioned it.
so what I love is that all the cards that you acquire, and I think the hand limit's pretty limited,
Mhm.
unless you have like
have-
certain equipment to hold more. But like every single card can be used as a poker card or an actual action.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. It's literally a 52 card deck, I think, and then all those cards actually have legitimate actions. It is the coolest thing ever, and the fact that you can go to the general store and buy stuff, and I love the tabletop because the way that we played, or the way that I played it was very role play.
Oh, that's just how we are with our games.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But this was so funny because I genuinely made another player mad for going after him because he ruined me. He stole my money. He put me in jail or whatever, right? And then it was so crazy.
It was genuine anger.
Yeah,
It was pretty good.
It was so funny. So the fact that this game can bring that out, I can't wait to play it again and again and again. But yeah, Western Legends at number 30. I'm happy where it is.
I think you're gonna be a little sad where this one sits.
Okay.
Number 29.
Okay.
And I'm almost a little sad where it sits, but I see based on what's ahead of it.
Okay.
I understand.
All right, say it.
Number 29 is Horrified.
Really?
Yeah, and I love this game.
Okay, but it's fair. It's kind of in the middle. That's fine. That makes sense.
I was worried that you were gonna guess this was my top 10.
I did not.
Okay. Yes.
I almost did. But
Yeah.
I was like,
Horrified. It is
Cool.
a little game where it has a lot of Universal monsters in it, and we are huge Universal monsters fans. I hate how much we are into it, but we
right here.
we really, really are. Yeah,
you
no. And the cool thing is that you can play with different monsters that you're attacking, that you're trying to stop. You're trying to they each little asymmetric power-esque.
Yeah, they all play differently.
They all play differently.
Yeah.
You're playing as different people, right?
Yeah, I think you're just kind of like a survivor helping
You're just a survivor trying to help get
all the
goals.
villagers.
Yes.
Which is so cool because
yeah.
all the villagers are revolved around actual.
Yes, they're
parts
actual
of it,
characters from the movies and stuff, and the books, and
it's so good.
it's really cool. But basically, the gameplay is really simple. You get a turn, you're trying to move. Each monster has its own goal that you need to reach to be able to defeat it. So that's basically what you're doing. You're trying to move around on this really cool board, which I really love. The artwork, I love the minis. Everything that they made about it just really works for this type of game.
Yeah.
Everything about this just kind of works for this type of game, and I could almost argue that it is a cozy game.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The laid back feeling that you have while you're playing this game, because you do an action, you do a move, that's it, pass it to the next player. There's table talk. We haven't played it higher than I think 2 people. right?
No. We played a 4.
Did we play it at 4?
Mhm,
I can't
mhm.
remember. But even it doesn't matter about the player counts because you're going to be talking no matter how many people
Yeah.
you're playing with.
Yeah, and I mean,
Because you're going to come up with a strategy. Like, okay, I'm going to do this because it's a cooperative game. Okay, I need you to do this. Can you guys do this?
Yeah,
and
like
there's a
work
lot
together.
of back and forth, which is one of my favorite things with like games is that there's a lot of conversation to be had with cooperative games.
yeah, agreed.
And it's spooky.
Mhm.
I mean, it honestly, it could be any theme. I think this game could work with almost any theme.
Kind of. I mean,
the mechanics at least.
Truly, what's so cool is that there's so many different versions of it now.
Yes. Yes.
And you know, there's like the American Monsters. There's now the
Yes,
Greek.
which I want all of
Yes,
them.
I do.
But I love that they do monster theme.
Yeah.
Because
it's super cool.
it seems like this mechanic for the game, how it plays, was made for monster games.
for sure.
So,
for sure. It's
that's
cool.
my number 29, and that is Horrified.
Cool. All right. So my number 29. My number 29 is such a. Oh man, I think. Hold on. Let me see something real fast. Okay. So my number 29 is such a special game to me. Famous Reiner Knizia game called Modern Art. So Modern Art
I
is.
should have known it was going to be this high up.
Yeah,
on the
it's
list.
so good. Modern Art is one of the best. I don't want to call it a negotiation game, but it turns into that. But it is an auction game practically.
Practically, it.
I mean, it literally,
It
legitimately
is-
is an auction
Yes.
game. Yes. So what you're doing is on your turn. Oh my gosh, it's so good. So in your hand, you have all these cards that are a variation of different artists who did art for the game, I believe. And what you're doing is you are taking out a card and playing it in front of everybody and saying, "Okay, this is up for auction," and yada yada, and it's so much value. You set the value for whatever you want it to be. And it's so cool because there are different types of auctions on each of the cards.
Mm-hmm.
So every time that you present one, it could be like an open bid. It could be, no
one knows. You drop your hand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a closed auction or whatever. I think there's 5 different types. And it's so cool because you're just, I mean, you can role play it out and just like, okay, I have this painting, and you could talk about the painting and really talk it up and make it make sense. And it's just so funny because it's abstract in nature in a sense, but you really feel like you're kind of like, oh, 12,000, 13,000, or whatever. I mean, you're just shouting around the table. It's so funny and it's so good. And for some reason I win almost every single time. And everybody's always like, dude, you're just like dishing out all this, all this money. I'm like, yeah, well, because
Not till the end.
exactly, because you always earn stuff back, especially if they are the most famous painter out on, or like artist out on the board at the end of the game, or not at the end of the game, but at the end of each round. It just depends, and then you get that much money back if you bought one of those paintings. So it's so cool. I love it. It's one of my favorite bidding games. It actually might be my favorite one on the list here. So that is number 29, Modern Art. So
Good. This one is gonna really surprise you.
oh gosh, I don't want any more. More surprises.
28. This one's gonna really
You mean-
surprise you.
You mean
20.
20? Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe this one might put you in one of those shock and awe moments. My number 28 is a game that we've played.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's called Twilight Struggle.
Whoa. Okay. No, I didn't think it was gonna be on this at all.
I know.
Okay. What the heck?
I know.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Love it. Continue.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
yes.
So it's a big game.
Yeah.
All right, and I know I gave a lot of slack. I don't like the way it looks. I'm gonna put that out there right now. I
know
don't
what
like the
you
way
mean.
it looks.
GMT doesn't really go over style.
Yes,
They go over
and-
mechanics.
But I have since learned that it's not about the way games look.
No.
And it's not that I've since learned that. It's just with this game, it kind of showed me more so. It really doesn't matter what a game looks like because you're gonna have a great time. You have so many actions that you can do. It's a big game. There, you're trying to stop a war. You're trying to create a nuclear war.
Well, no, you don't want to. Because if
You
if
don't
the
want
bombs
nuclear
fall,
war, but you can do it.
yeah, or you can push it to where the other person accidentally triggers it or whatever. But it's not so many actions. It's literally you do 2, but it'll redefine.
There's different options.
That's true.
But that's what I mean by that.
Yeah,
is,
sure.
You have 2 actions, but there's multiple different actions that you could be taking. So,
Yeah.
and your cards are also oh my god, I can't even explain.
Well, it's so thematic because it
It
literally
is,
it
because
tells
you're
you
learning-
what. Yeah,
yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead.
please let me.
Yeah, sorry.
You're learning while you're playing the game.
Mhm.
You're actually earning like actual information about the real war,
Mhm.
and you almost feel bad in a sense for what you're doing.
Yeah, especially if you're like the USSR and you're
Yeah,
really like.
because like you only get the option of being, the United States
Mhm.
or the USSR,
Yeah.
and to be fair, neither were quite why right. Wow.
Yeah. Well yeah.
War's not good. Okay, so let me just say that. So
Oh.
technically, neither were in the right because the war's just not good.
Yeah.
But the fact
Well,
of the
there's a
matter,
lot that goes into it.
there's a lot.
Cool.
But the point is that it's a board game and you're fighting and you somehow get pulled into this war, and it's a board game.
Well, war games are always just so thematic because, like, especially with this, because
I
literally.
think you should have maybe guessed because of where I put memoir already.
Oh,
That
yeah, sure.
this should have been on there
Mhm.
because I really like war games and I like when
It's so funny because you used to not at all.
I
You're
used
like,
to not. I would prefer
So
to
weird.
not. Oh my god! It was
It's
crazy to
just
me to
so-
see it on the list because
Yeah.
I
It was
remember when we
wonderful.
went to play it, I fought so hard. I didn't want to play it. I didn't want to. I looked for every
Yeah,
excuse
I know,
to
you
not
really
play
didn't.
it. I was
But like,
like
as you get going, you're just like,
you're
okay.
like, okay, I can see what I need to do.
And I mean, there's a lot of numbers out there on the board. Like, it's very.
That's what I mean. The board is not attractive. The board is not. It doesn't make you want to play it. The
Mhm.
cards don't make you want to play it. The overall theme of the game almost makes you not want to play it. But when you actually play it,
Mhm.
changes your mind
Yeah,
completely.
that's true. That's very true.
Um,
And learning this was such a struggle.
I
Twilight
think that's
struggle.
what also put me off of it too, is because like I was not understanding.
Mhm.
And usually I can catch on. I usually, and
Mhm.
I usually like to think that I'm pretty good at catching on to like what the premise of a game is,
Yeah,
what
and
my
how it's
plan
going.
is, what because I get how I get is when he's explaining games to me is like I get it in my mind my plan
Mhm.
of the game. I couldn't do that with
Mhm.
this one.
Mhm.
But I don't think you're supposed to have a plan when you go into this game.
Yeah, I mean,
Because you,
really
don't
gotta.
know.
Yeah, I mean, you do play the long game for this.
Yeah,
very-
it's a big game. It's really cool. It is fun having it out on the table because of how big it is,
Mhm.
and it just looks like you're doing something really crazy.
Mhm. true.
But yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised that
Yeah,
on my list.
yeah,
But that
I'm
is my number
very happy
28,
about it. Cool.
Twilight Struggle.
Sweet. All right. Well, you're gonna be shocked. I'm not shocked. Just I really hate that one away. We could have had a direct crossover. Horrified. Horrified is right there too. Yes. Man, Horrified is just so good. Everything that she said, yes, 100%. What I just absolutely love is the pick up and deliver system, which we don't really have a lot of games that do that. But I mean, it's weird. Some people just don't really like that, or because
It is
you
really
have to
nice
protect
to be able to just
them.
have something with you and take it with you and know that you're
Yeah.
going to have it.
Yeah,
because
true.
it's following you.
But then you can lose things too.
Mhm.
And what I love is like you said, is the fact that you can pair up any monster. And then you can make it super easy and just do one monster. It can make it a little bit harder and do two. You could play with all of them, but don't expect to win. Like,
Yeah.
it's so cool, and it gives me a little bit of like Pandemic vibes in the sense of the cooperative easiness. Because
That is true,
Like
because of
everybody
how-
still has those certain actions they can do in that one special thing or
Yeah.
something like that. So it's very unique in that sense, but also similar. So I don't know. Horrified is just so amazing. We do definitely want all the other ones, and so boom, right there. So yeah, I was meaning to bring this out beforehand. I was gonna go like, what goose, but I don't want to slam it down. Stuff,
Yeah.
So, yeah. So Horrified, beautiful, awesome game. Love it every time, and yeah, nothing else to say really. I
And
guess
that's
that's
your,
it. That was my 28, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. That's my 28.
All right, so 27. And that is As Above, So Below.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Did you think it was
That was
in my
my
top?
top 10.
Really?
Yes, because of how much you love this game.
I do love this game a lot. There is an excitement that I get with this game
Mm-hmm.
that when we pull it out, I know we're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, man.
We're exploring, we're building, we're like living. It's kind of crazy.
The story is
The story it tells.
Yeah.
I mean, you're building up your workers to be able to do more actions, and it's a little bit luck based because you got the dice rolling. Which in turn allows you to do certain actions based on your dice rolls. So it's just, my God, it's a perfect game.
It is very, very awesome. It gets a second to kind of.
It does, and that is why it is not in my top 10 because. One, the learning of the game, and not hard in per se, but it's more so a lot to kind of take in when you're trying to do a simple game.
Yeah, it is actually
it
is really extremely simple, but like learning it is a longer teach, which is strange.
Which is crazy because it is a very simple game, and once you learn it, you're like, okay, which we pull it out now, and we're like, okay, we got this.
Yeah, very true.
The artwork for it too.
Oh,
I love.
So we want all of Ryan Lockett's games.
Yes,
Ryan Lockett.
I want all.
He does the story. He writes the story. He does the art. He does everything.
Yeah.
Apart from the music, I think his wife might do that. But
doesn't matter.
yeah.
It's great.
Oh man, so good.
It's such a good game.
So good.
The stories you get to tell with it, the journey that you get to take in this game, is
Now-
kind of unlike anything that you'll experience with any other board game that's similar.
Agreed. And to be fair, just an FYI, this is the only Ryan Lockett game that we have played. So honestly,
Currently, yes.
if it was
I want Sleeping Gods.
Yes.
I know that if Sleeping Gods was here, it probably would have made it into my top 10 list. That's just based on what As Above, So Below has already given me with the story and what I've heard from Sleeping Gods.
Oh, boy.
I truly believe if we had more of his games, they would probably be more on my list because I love them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my number. What number was it?
That was 20. Ooh, what is it? What is this? 27, yeah.
27, As Above, So Below.
Cool. All right. So my number 27 is another thematic game, very Dungeons and Dragons-esque.
Oh.
And that is Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm really sad that this is kind of here. Because I feel as if
I didn't
this
put it
should
in your
be...
top 10, but
okay, cool. That
does surprise me.
Right.
I at least thought top 20.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, it should be. It should be. I think that we need to play it much more. But Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion is so good. Yeah. We've never played Gloomhaven itself, just because of that beast of a box that I don't want to handle right now. And also, I heard that they're doing like a second edition to make it like a little bit more, I guess, like accessible with the book and stuff. But this is just so great to pull out. Works at 2 players, works at 3, works at 1 even. I'm sure it's amazing at 4. But man, that story that you get.
You're building a character.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a straight RPG, really. It really is.
RPG.
Yeah, and I mean I love the fact that like it's like when you open up the book to like a certain part of the map, it already tells you how many monsters that need to go out. And then it'll tell you your goal within a story block. It's so good. It's so amazing, and the fact that everybody has like a certain initiative. So if you don't know how Gloomhaven works, it's very simple. You have these cards in your hand.
Takes the rules from D&D, basically.
Kind of, except it uses cards.
Everyone has initiatives.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're fine. So what you do is you have this hand of cards, and you play 2 cards, and then when you play those 2 cards, you choose which one you want to be the initiative. But you can't like tell the other person. You just say, okay, it's gonna be this card, right? And then you get to choose the top action or the bottom action of both cards. So you can like move 2 spaces and then attack, or attack and then move it, or pick up something, or whatever. And the fact that you don't know who's going to go first or last or whatever because you start flipping things, it's so good. It's such a wonderful experience. And like I said, bringing out the box, it's not even that expensive. Go pick up this game. And if you don't like legacy games, at least try. Or if you're getting new into legacy games, just do this. It's kind of a legacy game, but it's more of a.
If you're intimidated by legacy games, but you want something that feels similar.
True. I mean, it's more campaign or campaign.
That's what legacy games are, because they're campaign. Except
with legacy, you destroy things. With campaigns, you can reset it most of the time.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, if you're not sure about campaign games and you're very curious, pick up Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion. It's amazing. So I'm glad where it's at. That is my number 27. Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion. Cool. What's yours?
My number 26
Oh yeah, right. Nice number.
is
Yeah, number 26. What is it?
number 26 is a game that I also think that I was like about when we first started talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But then we played Formula D,
Oh.
and then I was like, I want to try this game,
Mm-hmm.
and that's Heat Pedal to the Metal.
Cool.
And
Cool.
when I tried it, I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And it's such a perfect racing game.
It's so
And even with I was going to be iffy with the AI aspect of it, but when we played it with the AI, it worked so well.
good. It's so great.
The way it went.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're going to win. There's no way.
Right.
But they didn't.
Right. I don't know how they programmed it. Like,
I
it's so
know.
simple too.
I
I'm like,
know.
oh, you just flip this card and do the thing. Yeah. But anyhow, go ahead.
But it's a simple little game. You all get a car. You all get cards that match your car color, and you can earn certain things inside of your deck that can help you do extra action, basically where you draw bonus cards. You're just moving with the number based on your card.
Good.
For the actual player board, you can shift 1 to 2 spaces on your gear shift, which in turn will decide if you have to spend heat. And if you have to spend heat, your heat goes into your discard pile, which then adds it to your hand, and then adding it to your hand are cards that are not playable, which then in turn leaves you to have to play cards to bring your heat back up.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of thought process behind it a little bit, because like you're managing your cards, you're trying to figure out what you're going to play. You got to pay attention to the corners you're going around, because you got to play a certain number, can't pass that number unless you want to spend more heat, which then adds more heat to your discard. And it's a whole process that you're just going to keep going over and over again until someone wins.
Yeah.
And you can do multiple laps, you can do 1 lap.
Well, and even crossing the finish line doesn't necessarily mean that you won. It means that, like...
Yeah, because you cross the finish line, that person that's behind you could have, like, 4 cards that they're playing that's, like, 4...
Yeah,
3,
yeah, and then they'll go
they
past
pass
you.
so they'll win.
Yeah, so the person, like, way ahead of the...
Yeah, so it just depends. And it's just a fun game. You're
It's so
racing, you get together with your friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a racing game.
I think the caveat is, like, the teach is, like, there's so many steps.
There are.
And then you're like, how can it be so simple? It is.
It's a very simple game, because it looks somewhat overwhelming when you look at how many, like,
there's
actions
like 9
that you
steps
can take.
or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
But you skip, like, half of those half the time.
Yes.
You know, so, yeah.
But it's a very simple game, and it definitely deserved to be on my list. And that is my number 26, Heat Pedal to the Metal.
Nice. Cool. Love it. All right, so my number 26 is a wonderful tile placement game that I just adore, and that is King Domino.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm shocked that this is here, and I don't know why I love it so much. I think because you can play it in like 15 minutes. You know, I mean, it's such a great tile laying game that just and scoring is so simple. Like, honestly, you barely even teach this game. You just you kind of show it, and then you say, okay, you can pick one of these tiles or dominoes, right? But you have to put your little guy there, and the person who's at the highest in the row gets to pick that one next to put in your it's kind of like your land, your kingdom, I guess. And you have to kind of pair certain lands together. So, like, you know, you want your grasslands together, but if those grasslands don't have any crowns on it, you don't score anything for those. So you have to have at least 1 or 2, and then depending on how many crowns are in that adjacent section of land, you multiply it. And it's just so good because there's the mines. The mines give you a lot of crowns. You get like the dry lands or like or whatever, but that's all it is. And the art is very cute and simple, and the fact that almost anybody could really pick it up and play it is just awesome. And I love too that it has a really nice 2-player variant where you can play it with it's like a 7x7 square instead of it's like a 5x5 or whatever. Or so I think it's...
I can't remember.
I don't know. But anyhow, I loved every single time that we played it, and the fact, again, you finish it up in such little time. And I mean, if you never played like a tile laying game, this is probably the one to like bring out to show people for the first time. It's fantastic. Love it. That is King Domino at number 26. Yeah. So cool. Yeah.
Oh God, I'm on the other side of my list. 25.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Why were you trying to look?
I know. I was looking at the crossovers. So wait, is it 4 crossovers so far?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right.
25 is a game that I love. It also has full tiles,
Mm-hmm.
and that is Cascadia.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Dang, I thought I was a little bit higher, but okay. Cool.
yeah.
Good.
I love Cascadia.
Yes,
I don't think it would be higher for the simple fact of it's not one of those ones where I'm like, oh, let's play it, let's get it out. And,
Okay.
and the only reason why I say that is because I actually don't know why I say that. I have like a weird love for it, but it's also like it's not one of those ones that I want to play.
Okay. Makes sense.
I don't know why though. I wish I could give a real reason because I actually genuinely don't know why because I do love this game.
Yeah, I think we need to just.
I think we just need to play it more.
Yeah.
But Cascadia is a little tile placing game. You get these little. Basically, how you set it up is it's going to be different. It's going to be different basically every time that you play, depending on what combination of goals that you have set based on animals that you're going to get. The tiles are building up. You don't have to connect them via the places, but if you do, it makes it look cooler and it looks more like you got a plan.
It's like if you have your mountains together, it looks great, and then like you break it off with like a river, and you're like, oh, well, that's like that.
Basically, what you get to do every time is you get to choose a tile and a little token, and that little token will go on a tile on your board. It doesn't have to be the tile that you chose, but you put that tile somewhere. It has to match that little animal has to match one of the pieces on your board.
Yeah, and there's 5 different animals.
Yeah, 5 different animals. There's the eagle, the bear.
I think it's hawk. Well,
hawk,
hawks or
bear, salmon, fox, and
elk.
Yeah. So cute little game, perfect for like you're just feeling nature feels.
Oh yeah, nature enthusiasts will
easy.
love it.
You played this with our
I actually managed to do kind of the family variant in a way with our 5-year-old, and she pretty much did it. Yeah. I mean, I had to help her a little bit, but yeah, she did it, and
it's such a simple game. You pick a tile, you place the tile. You pick a token, you place the token. Mm-hmm. There's bonus things that you can do based on. I think it's like a pine cone. If you have a pine cone,
yeah, pine cones can like you switch
and
around.
You can switch out which
or
one you grab.
or pick from one different.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because like how it sets is there's like 4 different tiles that you can pick from, and above those 4 different tiles are 4 different tokens, and those tokens have to be picked with those tiles that they're under, unless you have a pine cone, which then in turn allows you to choose one from one and then one from the
exactly,
other.
or you can save them for points then.
Yeah. So it just kind of depends, and you're basically just building up to see if you can get the most points based on your goals set by. You might have a goal where it's like I'll have the bears clumped together. You might have one where it's like the salmon have to be in a line.
Yeah.
The fox has to be surrounded by animals. Like there's different goals that you have to meet based on what you pulled at the beginning of the game. Yeah. And it's just really fun, and it's going to be different every time. You're going to have a fun time every time. Oh, yeah. And there's just something about pulling things out of a bag that even though it has no other purpose except doing that, it's nice. And that's why I think it's so high on my list to begin with, is because the fun aspect of it.
Yeah, just like, oh, what's going to happen? Around. Oh, it's another bear? Darn!
Yeah,
no, I need a salmon or
whatever. But yeah, so that's my number 25, and that is Cascadia.
Cool. I love it. All right. Well, guys, ready for another crossover?
Ooh, yes.
It's so sad that it's in the same chunk, too, so it couldn't be a direct crossover. That is Twilight Struggle. Twilight Struggle is such.
I knew that was going to be pretty
game.
high for you.
Yeah. So we have to play it again, like soon or something, because it's so brilliant.
I think we do more so now that considering our. They're both in the same chunk.
I know. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you want a really good 2-player game that is so complex in nature, this is the one. This is so great. It is.
You want something chunky for 2 players?
Yeah, it is heavy. I mean, the fact that it's such a great tug-of-war kind of thing, literally about the Cold War. And again, you learn so much from well, if you're curious about what a card says, literally the rule book actually has like a little section where you can read about that point. It's so great, and I guess it spans throughout the whole Cold War. So it's all these events that could happen, except certain events don't happen until at a later time. So you have like 3 different stacks of cards, and I forgot. I think it's like the first 3 you play with like the first period of the Cold War, and then the second half you play with. It's so amazing, and I mean the complexity, the depth behind it. There is a lot to set up, kind of. Well, in a way,
it's not the setup; it's the learning of it and getting everything together.
It's so beefy
to be ready to play.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, no, I absolutely adore Twilight Struggle, and the fact that we just need to play it again and again, and it's just I love it, love it, love it. Yeah, so that's my number 25. I won't say much more because we
Yeah, because
kind
we
of
already talked about
Yes,
it.
we sure did. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, cool.
All right. So my number 24
Mhm.
is almost a little sad
Yeah.
to see where it is.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, I understand based on what's higher,
Oh okay.
and that is Parks.
Oh
Yeah.
okay.
Parks
That makes sense.
is a beautiful little simple hiking game.
Yeah, I know. What do you call it? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what else to call it. You're
Mhm.
hiking, you're exploring the national parks,
Mm.
you're earning resources to be able to visit those
Mm-hmm.
national parks, which in turn gives you points for those cards. And it's just a simple game.
Mm-hmm.
You're moving along on this trail, earning resources, so that way you can buy cards, you can play cards.
Mm-hmm.
You can reserve cards.
Or parks, yeah, like yeah.
Yeah,
Which that's
yes,
what they are.
yeah. So you reserve parks.
Mhm.
You play the parks. You earn the points for those parks, and then you're just basically doing that until
Yeah.
the end of the game, and then
Yeah.
whoever has the points at the end. And it's such a simple game. I
Mhm.
just explaining it just now.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah.
That's it. That's the game.
Yeah.
It's simple. You're walking on a trail. You're
Yeah.
earning resources and playing cards,
Yep.
and it is so simple yet so beautiful and so peaceful.
Mhm. I mean, you can't like we were just talking just the other day. You can't like have a nature theme and then like, oh, I'm not a big fan of that. Like,
Yeah,
like
you can't.
nobody can hate like nature themed
You
board
can't
games.
hate parks,
Like,
even if it's not in your top 50. You don't hate it.
oh no, I mean it's
You
so,
play it,
yeah,
and you
yeah.
love it,
It's-
and that's
yeah,
how
I
the
think
game
everybody-
is. And it was a little sad to see how low it is on my list,
Mhm.
but the fact that it's still in my top 50 makes me happy because I know how good of a game this is and how easy it is to pull out. We pull
Mhm.
this out for people who's not played many games with us,
Yeah,
and
they
we
see.
just sit down and play it,
Yeah.
and we play it with people who don't even like board games,
Mhm, yeah, that's
and
true.
he had a good time with it.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, and the production value is very
oh my
Top
god,
notch,
and
top
just
notch.
pulling the game out, putting
key,
it up.
Keymaster games every time.
So fun.
Yeah.
How can they make putting a game up fun? How can they make
Yeah,
pulling a
so
game out
satisfying,
fun?
yeah.
They do it. And I will forever want to buy any game that they come out
Mhm.
with because of that simple fact.
Mhm.
But that is my number 24.
20. Oh gosh, what
24.
number is this? Yes, it is. It is. It is.
24 parks.
Mhm. Okay. So my number 24 is kind of adjacent to my last game. It's another war game, and that is War of the Ring.
Mm.
Kind of hate where it's at because I love Lord of the
Oh,
Rings. This is
surprise.
my highest Lord of the Rings style game. It needs to be higher. We need to play it more. The thing is that it is a long game. It can be, and the setup is quite a bit. You know, you've got to put a lot of the armies out there. But it's literally the books. Like the entire War of the Ring game is the books, and that's what it makes it so special. So one person obviously is playing as the Shadows, or you know, Sauron's army, or actually just the Shadow army, whatever. And then the other person is playing as the Free Peoples.
That didn't make my list.
Didn't make your list at all.
Mm-mm.
Wow, that hurts. That really hurts. That's really sad.
I think it's because of how awful I did.
Yeah, probably.
when we
yeah.
played it.
Yeah.
I did walk into
Yeah.
Mordor, and
Yes.
that is just
Yeah,
not
you
what
just-
you
you
do.
just- yeah, you-
So-
You did not simply. Well, I mean, you simply walked into.
I
Mordor.
did, and I was like, "Oh, this is
Yeah.
so easy."
Yeah, you're like, oh, this game's gonna be quick, and then
Yeah.
the bag draws were like, oh, you're dead. You're
Yeah.
like, you.
So it
died
was
on
very
that
thematic,
mountain.
though. It was
That's
really
true,
fun.
yeah.
I made a
Frodo
whole
and Sam,
story
Frodo and
as
Sam,
why and
yeah.
what happened to Frodo and Sam.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I still had a great time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. So it's a big teach. It's a big, massive game, and I love it for the fact of you really get pulled right in. You really feel like, okay, I have to focus on Gondor right now, or I have to go to Rohan and do all these things, and then like.
I
You're-
do none of those things.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things to actually do and play, and like oh my gosh,
Yeah.
the cards, multi-use card system again. Let me tell you,
I thought the
It's-
game was easier than it was.
yeah,
And
you sure
I
did.
learned.
You sure did. Yeah,
I learned.
yeah. No, I totally wrecked you, and
Yeah.
and I will say, so Sauron's army or the
A
Shadow
little
Army, whatever,
overpowered to ask me.
they are until a certain point, until you really get
They
like
don't die.
Aragorn like at a certain. No.
They
if
don't
you
die.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so there's just a lot to consider when you do pull out this game. But it's so cool doing the battles, doing the roles. So if you like Risk or anything of that nature, and you want something way more deeper, this is probably not the next step. But but really that kind of it kind of reminded me of like classic Risk, just like better, so much better. And the fact that like
I've never played Risk.
Okay, well that's
so
sad. I forgot that you never played. It's kind of it's whatever. It's nothing too special. But anyhow, yeah. So I love War of the Ring. I want to play it more.
Introduced me to Clue.
I know that's what it's. Yeah. So that is War of the Ring at number 24. I think is that 24. Yeah, I need to stop. Yeah. Yes. Now number 24, War of the Ring. So that's
23.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really surprised where this is for me because I think you've already said it.
Oh gosh.
Which really surprised me. Okay. So this might be a crossover. I think you said it. I think. And that is Terraforming Mars.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
So that's crossover. Okay. Wow, you like it better than me. That's crazy.
I love this game, and I was really surprised to hear.
I know. I feel like something went wrong, and this has to be much. I
thought
like,
it was higher.
Yeah.
Because I thought you liked this game more than I do. Apparently not.
I think I do it on certain days.
Listen.
I don't know.
This is one of those games that if you're going into it for the way it looks, you're probably not going to like it that much.
Yeah.
But once you actually get into the game, it's so fun. You're building you're terraforming Mars, literally the aspect of the game, and you got cards to play. Each card has a different resource it takes. You're building resource. We now have the inserted plates.
Yeah.
So
if you buy this game, I don't know if they like upgraded with them like newer editions or whatever.
Yeah.
But like your player mat, you need those little indentions so that you can keep your little
which we now have, which you can buy those separately. Which
yeah. I mean, they're like not that much, but still we
definitely recommend it just because it makes everything easier keeping your stuff together. Because the normal game it is just a flat board and all the pieces all look the same, so it's easier to have a separation, which I really nice.
For sure.
Because there were times where, like, sometimes I'll hit my board.
That, or, like, the cat will jump up and they're like, oh, no, it's scooting everything over.
How much did I have? Was this piece over in that? Like, it's so just, sad. It's so sad. The pieces are a little ugly, I'm not going to lie, but they're cool because they're shiny and they're squares. The gameplay style is really fun because you're just...
It's an engine building game.
It's an engine building. You're playing cards to add extra stuff to what you can do, to play things, to increase things, and...
Yeah, it's like you're increasing the oxygen, you're doing the temperature, you're placing oceans. It's based on a book that apparently is very... it's like, it could almost happen or something like that. Like, it's... or it's a book series maybe or something like that.
Really, like the game looks intimidating when you look at it, but honestly, once you get into playing it and you understand what each thing means, what the actual, what your goal is in a sense, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
We played it enough times now that like now I kind of, you can't have a strategy when you go in.
No.
Can't.
I do. I just want to share this real fast. So. A friend of ours said that this was easier for them to learn than Wingspan.
Yes, they did.
So that really shocked me because like they have a lot of similarities between them.
Yeah.
And so
it's a very easy game to teach and learn. It looks intimidating, but it really is easy. It's just the matter. The cards are ugly. The art's ugly. But it's not awful.
I kind of dig it.
Compared to like some of the Uwe Rosenberg stuff, let's be honest.
Oh, this
is not close.
I mean, it's all subjective art. So
it's all subjective art. It's cool.
Or art is subjective in nature.
Yes. So but Terraforming Mars, and it was really crazy to me to see. To see where you had it versus where I have it.
I think it makes sense though for me as a gamer. So
but that's my number 23.
Cool.
Terraforming Mars.
All right, I think this is another crossover from a list from your maybe early 50s or I think so. This is one of the best bluffing games ever created, and that is Sheriff of Nottingham.
Oh, yes, it is a crossover.
Oh, Sheriff of Nottingham is so good. I just adore this so much. And mostly because of nostalgia, I think. I think nostalgia is holding this one higher.
That's why it's on my list to begin with. I think it's the nostalgia aspect.
I've just had so many moments where, all right, I'm the sheriff here. I'm going to be, checking your bag. And, just start using accents and just being goofy. It's so good. And so if you didn't watch the last video, I'll explain the game real fast. So pretty much everybody has these bags. You
It
are
was the first
playing
video.
as I think it was. So everybody is playing as Robin Hood and like all these other characters and stuff. With the newer edition, I think like they've like gender swapped like Robin Hood. I think it's like a female now or something like that, or whatever. I'm not really sure. But anyhow, it's just set in the world of Robin Hood, and the fact that everybody gets to play as the sheriff
There
as
is a
it goes
Disney
around.
version for all you
There
Disney lovers.
is a Disney version, and I want it so bad. I want all the versions because it's just so cool. But yeah, so what you're doing is you are putting certain items in your bag. So you have like apples. Say I have 2 apples. I just put 2 apples in my bag, and then I say to the sheriff, "I have 2 apples in my bag. Can I pass?" And they either have to say yes or check your bag. If they think that you're lying, the reason why you would lie is because you can shove contraband in there, and there's different types of contraband items. You cannot lie about the number that you have, but you can lie about what it is. At least one of those truths has to be in there, right? And so as you give them the bag, if they check it and they're wrong, they pay you, like the difference of the value on the card or whatever. If you're right and they let you
I win
pass,
every
then
time.
you get to keep those apples and tuck them, and then you get some things at the end of the game.
Specifically when he's the sheriff, he just can't tell when I'm lying.
Oh, I can never tell. I just have fun with it to the point where I'm just like, I don't even know. I just don't know.
Yeah.
Because, like, you have nothing to go off of except, like, if you lied to
Just
the
trusting
person
the
previous
person.
time, then yeah, that's true. I mean, you just have to trust. But, yeah, man, it's so funny, and I want to play this almost any other time. It's so funny. You will laugh hardcore every time. And, yeah, it's actually our number one. Isn't it our number one family game? I think it
Ooh,
was.
I'm switching
Yeah.
one.
Oh, already? Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so that is
Don't look.
23, Sheriff of Nottingham. Yes.
My number 22 is a tile placing game.
Okay.
A beautiful tile placing game.
Mm.
One of my favorite games that I feel like you probably would have thought it was in my top 10.
Mm.
And that is Azul.
Oh, wow. Yep, I sure did.
Yep.
That-
And
that is
I
awful.
specifically
That is so... Wow.
Yeah, and I specifically mean normal Azul.
Okay.
And I love all the other versions too, but
That's
just
crazy.
something about the first Azul, when I first played it, it really just drew me in.
I know what you mean.
I loved it immediately. The scoring was the hardest part for me to understand, but
Yeah.
other than that, once you get the scoring and you understand how the gameplay works,
Mm-hmm.
it's so fun. And again, something from drawing from a bag.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're literally just drawing from a bag to place it, that's
Mhm.
it. There's just something about doing that.
Mhm.
So basically how Azul works is you get this little circle. You get these little circles that you put into another
Yeah,
circle.
the factories.
The factory tiles. And you got this bag of little tiles. They're all little squares. We jokingly call it bathroom tiles. It is not a bathroom. But that's what they kind of look like. You draw 4, you place them on there, and basically each turn, you're all taking turns drawing all of one color from the board,
Mhm.
from the tiles, and then that gets pushed into the middle, and then you can earn negative points, you can lose points, tiles can fall off, tiles can be... You can basically trick the other person, not trick the other person, but get them to draw more tiles, which in turn causes them to have more negative points.
Yeah, right. That's true.
It's so cool, and there's not a real strategy there other than you're all trying to fill in your tile area as much as you can to earn points, and there's different ways to earn points based on how many you fill in. If they're on the board, it'll show you, like, if you fill in all of one color on that board, you get bonus points. If you fill in rows, you get bonus points.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you get, like, columns, you get bonus points. It's just a fun little game.
It is.
And it's just so fun to pull it out. And the messing with the tiles are so fun, and
Yeah.
it's beautiful. And when I first played Azul, it really hit a place in my heart that I just fell in love with it immediately.
Oh, yeah. I think I did too. I was like, wow, this is like super awesome. It's just,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
one of the best abstract games I've ever played.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and add. You're gonna hate this, but no, none of the Azuls made my list.
That I almost figured they wouldn't.
They did on a few like occasions, and I was like, no, I like this better. So I re-ranked, and then so yeah, I will say I think they were like in the 60s.
Yeah.
My favorite one is probably Stained Glass.
I love all of them, but the reason why the original Azul is on my list is for the love it originally created for me.
because you were like, wow,
Because that's
you
what
really
we played
did.
before we played any of them.
If we had ranked years ago, I feel like this would have been like pretty.
I
up
feel
there.
like this probably would have made my top 10 if we had ranked years ago.
Yeah, probably.
Just because of the immediate love I've felt for it. And it's not that love has died down in me. It's just that I've played so many more games now.
Well, yeah, and it's also like what you prefer as a gamer too. Like,
Yes.
you like more abstract games, you like more words, like whatever it might be. You know.
Yeah. But that is my number 22, and that is Azul.
Okay. All right, my number 22 is a game that I do like slightly better than all these other 2-player tug of war games, and I had a lot on here, right? Right? I had 2 other ones, yeah. So this is Caper Europe. I love Caper Europe so much. What did you think it was on? It was no. Okay.
It didn't make my list.
Didn't what?
Yeah.
Wrong. You're no. Oh, I'm so hurt. I could have sworn that's awful. That's awful. All right. I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about this game as much as I want to then.
Yeah.
So Caper Europe. Wow, that's just so crazy. Love it so much. I love the spy heist. Very like, James Bondy, Inspector Gadget kind of like, it's so
No, let me
cliche.
just put this out there. I do love this
Oh,
game.
I know you
It
do,
is
I
a
know.
perfect 2-player
It's so
game.
good, yeah.
But there's more games that I love.
No, I get it.
So
yeah, no, I think out of all 2-player games, this probably reigns. Oh well, wait, I think for our 2-player games that we did video, I think this was number 1, wasn't it? Well, maybe. Can't remember.
I don't remember.
It might have been, but yeah. So I just adore it to the point of like I can't take it. Like I want to play this almost any time, and like I don't want to always like bring it out and say, like, "Can we play this? Can we play?" Because like I don't want you to think that I loved it that much, but now you know. Yeah, it's so cool, and the fact, like I said, it's very cliche in the nature of like spy and
Old
heist.
spy movies.
Yeah, exactly. And I just love that the idea of like on your turn you play a card and then you pass. Like I like drafting. I think that's so cool, and this game does it so uniquely. And I like how it scores. I like how each location is very different, and each time you play it, you can either be in different locations because like there's different location decks that you'll shuffle in. Like you can be in Rome, you can be in Paris, you can be in London or whatever it is. I think London is the one we haven't played yet.
Yeah.
It's like the hardest one or whatever. But so I enjoyed that difficulty spike too, where you can kind of mitigate that.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's 3 different locations, and you're just going across this board, and you're just like sliding in little characters and certain spies, and like the nun has a sound detector with like a claw hook thing or whatever, and you can kind of see the story be made, and you can kind of just think like, oh, what would happen if this really was a real like a movie or like an old classic spy movie or like whatever it is. Yeah, I think it's so good. I love it so much. So that is number 22, Caper Europe. Can't believe it's not on your list. I hate that.
I know.
But here we are.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
so my number 21 is one that I just switched last minute, and I think and you'll understand why, because I just looked at it and I'm like, ew, that seems like it was a mishap anyways. Like I think I might have just wrote it wrong
Okay.
because it just seems wrong.
Okay.
But my number 21 is Meadow.
Whoa, good. I did not think it was going to be on your list at all.
I really like this
Good,
game,
good.
and that's surprised that you don't think I would. I mean, the
No,
art
no,
for it is,
Yeah.
oh my god, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
If a game has good art, it really draws me in.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am an artist myself, and just when I see pretty, like,
Oh, it's one of
and
the
it's
best
somewhat
art.
abstract a little bit too.
Oh, it is,
with,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and with the way the
Or
art
the way
looks.
you play, it's abstract.
Yeah. But basically in the game, what did we label
So,
this?
You
Like I know how
it's-
the game works, but like what would
it's
it be
set
labeled
collection,
as?
action.
Set collection.
It's like action selection and then set collection. Yeah.
Basically, you all have these little like triangle, rectangle sign pieces that you have a certain number on it and a certain action on it that you can use because they're multi-use, which is really cool as well.
That is true.
And you got this board where all the cards are laid out on. There's the north, south, east, west, whatever.
Yeah.
So
good.
cool. The setup, the building for the game too. Like,
Oh, I love setting it up.
You got little boxes that
Yeah.
you put the cards in. You like, it's beautiful. you choose whatever number, you place it, and you count out, and that's wherever you put the arrow is how many cards you go up, and you grab that card, you add it to you.
Yeah. So like
you're
I think you're journeying and you're like looking at things and you're just seeing what's
and
in
each
your
have little
meadow.
symbols of what they create, like via like for other cards that may cost something, you can be able to play it because it's creating that resource or whatever.
Yeah, it's like the bird eats the berries, and then
the house needs like the fences and like the trees to build the house. So like it's very thematic in a way that's very subtle as well.
It is so subtle,
There's a little campground that you can also do bonus actions with, that if you don't feel like drawing a card this turn and you have enough to be able to gain these bonus point actions, you can place it, which in turn allows you, because like I said, they were multi-use, the little rectangle pieces now in turn allow you to do something else. And it's just a simple little card game with board feeling aspects.
Yeah.
Because it's really, and at the end of the day, you're just playing a card game.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like it.
Oh,
It feels like it's much more.
I do.
And you'll see what's above this as to why, because it was one of those ones where I just switched
Okay.
But yeah, Meadow definitely deserves to be in my list, and it's surprising that you didn't think it was going to be.
Well, no, that's true. I mean, I guess I should have thought that it should.
For the art alone, you should.
Yeah, that's true.
Because art really does draw me, and I try not to be the one
Art
that
can
like
drive a game. Yeah,
art can drive a game, and for what you'll see is some of my numbers, or even like my past numbers too. Art's not the forefront of it, but art does help drive a piece for me at least, because it really draws me in.
Yeah. No, I totally
so that is my number 21. Meadow.
All right, last up for me for this video. Here we go. So this is, I guess this might be my favorite deduction style game. One of them. That is Deception, Murder in Hong Kong.
That is a crossover.
Yes, it is a crossover.
Yes.
So we're gonna have.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna get a single direct one. I'll be honest.
I thought we were.
We should bet on one now.
I think one.
Yeah, true. So Deception, Murder in Hong Kong. Oh my gosh. It's so good. It's so good if you like to lie to your friends.
Yeah, I talked about this a little
bit. It's so great. I mean, it has aspects of werewolf and mafia and all that good stuff. But this one does it so well. Like, this overrides any hidden traitor game for me, I think. Because it's still a party game. But it's just enough party gamey to make me feel like it's still, like has enough depth behind it, too. So Deception, Murder in Hong Kong, what you're doing is everybody is given a card, and it's either going to be an investigator or a murderer. As in, like, one person is a murderer. So everybody gets dealt out these cards. And then you have 4 means cards and 4 clue cards. So at the beginning of the game, everybody looks at their cards, and puts it down, and then everybody closes their eyes. There's one forensic scientist who gets to see everybody. And then the forensic scientist says, okay, murderer, open your eyes. I need you to pick 1 clue card, 1 means card. So say they pick like poison and like a broomstick or a brick or whatever. I don't know. And then close your eyes and everybody opens their eyes. So immediately everybody's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Okay. So I love the fact that the forensic scientist gets to tell this story of like, okay, so it's poison. So they died. It wasn't by like blood loss. It was like by, like whatever it might be. And so you tell this story and then people say, okay, well over here you have like a bottle of alcohol. Well, you have like the, there's so many things going around the table and the talk is so great. And you can go like, okay, well you have that. So why is it going to be me? And it's so cool because the fact that everybody has one chance to guess exactly who it is and exactly the cards that they picked. And if they don't get it, the forensic scientist can't say close. They have to say yes or no. They cannot
Here's
help
a way
out.
To cheat. Telltale sign. The murderer will guess first.
I've
noticed that every time
if they're not smart about it,
Yeah.
Yep.
Every time we play, it's been the murderer that's guessed.
Not for me.
First.
No. I don't remember that at all. So
I do.
I don't know, but it's just so cool. And then I love too that the fact of the forensic scientist gets to for I think three times throughout the game. Switch out one of the things where it's like, okay, it's like a
They're
location.
not, where it's like, oh, they're not getting information from this.
Yeah,
but
it's like,
try
okay,
something else.
yeah, and then they get a random one. It could be like time of day, or it could be like, were there any people who saw the body or whatever. It's so cool. Love it every time. It never gets a bad play, like ever. And people who don't even like these kind of games, I've heard that they are comfortable with this one because it doesn't make you feel like you're forced to lie or whatever. You're just kind of like playing the table, and it's just it's so cool. So that's number 21, Deception, Murder, Hong Kong. Last on this section.
Oh
Cool.
my God, we're almost to the top.
Sure are.
10.
Yes, we got.
How exciting!
Did you see any of that?
I saw a second, but I can't read.
Okay, good. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Heck yeah,
Yeah, cool. We did it.
we did.
Yeah, so this next video will be going up potentially within the next week. So we're going to try to have all these a week out from each other.
Yes.
And we just cannot wait. So if
We're
you're looking,
excited
yeah,
to know each other's.
yes,
so.
yes, we cannot wait. If you're looking for any of these games or games like these, be sure to check out your local board game store.
Yes.
Our board game store is
Family Game Night.
Family Game Night, yes. So check them out or check them out on Facebook. We'll put a link in the description below.
Yes.
And be sure to give them a like and a shout out. And yeah, thanks so much for watching.
Yes, and don't forget to also like and subscribe to us
Yes.
as well. It helps us
Please.
out. Send our video off to other board game
Mhm.
enthusiasts that you know.
Mhm.
Comment down below your top for
Mhm.
this point. I would love to see if there's any games on here that like you haven't heard so far that you want to let us know. Or you can try to guess our top 10.
Yes.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
We definitely like hearing from you guys and communicating, so yes. We're excited to be here and we're really appreciative of you guys that stick around that have continued to watch our videos.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Mhm. Yes.
And we will see you next time.
Yeah, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.